Why is mine different? Why do they get full outfits while I got half of one? Not even half. It legit just covers my shoulders. Um. We ran out of fabric. Of course. Of course. Ha! Eat that, fish brains. Shut up, you little brat. I'm way older than you. You can't call me little brat. I think I just did. Snot-nosed princess. Stupid fairy. Asta, don't let her words get to you. We are way stronger. Yeah, right, you stupid fish. What did you just call me? Fish! Stupid fish. I'm gonna rip her to shreds. Be my guest. What? Why did? I'm not gonna let you blow up the building, man. Just. Hi, it's me, We Anime We. I'm sorry for this being late. Um, it's hunting season for my area, so I've been doing that. Um, I do hunt. Okay, it's been in my family for years. Well, actually, just my dad. But either way, yeah. Sorry for this being wait, wait, yeah, late. It will probably happen again, as bad as I'd hate to say it. But after Friday, it should not happen. Like after this week ends, it shouldn't happen again until Christmas. Like the break, the week of Christmas, I take that off. Um, it's legit my only break throughout the year, unless I am like fully just plain out sick and like feeling trash. Those are my only days I take off. But any other day, I'm going to push through and record. Don't matter how cold or hot it is or whatever. I will push through and get this video out for you. Anyways, today we're going over the raid on the Eye of the Midnight Sun's base. Yeah, we will see what happens. But first, let me get a drink of water, and I think you should too. And then we can get into this. Oh, before you go and get a water or whatever, if you are going to. Um, my next Deku What If has been decided. I know this is Asta What If area, but I'm just saying this if you're interested of things getting burnt up or, well, blown up. One of the two, an explosion quirk or a fire quirk, will be coming your way. After my current, um, my current Deku What If. As for Deku, not Deku, as for Asta, you will see what happens. There are multiple choices I have yet to choose. Well, I'm deciding which one, so yeah, we will totally see what it is. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Anyways, let me get a drink of water, and then we can get into it. Okay, we can see the Royal Knights, all 20 of them, in their own separate teams. Um, right. The Golden Dawns, two teams are there. Um, Cobb, the spatial mage, is down at the bottom, keeping a spatial spell going up, so no one can escape. Um, right. All the teams are as in canon. Zora, Marilona, and Asta. Noel, Nozel, the Mushroom Guy, and the one of the members of the Crimson Lion Kings or Crimson Lions. All the team, like I said, all the teams are in canon, as in canon. Okay, and so with that, we can get started. All the teams are in already, breaking through, and they're traveling through, heading through multiple different um, corridors. Asta and his team, well, yeah, team, would be at a stop. Like a big open area is here. Then Marilona would turn around. Two Astas are there. Two of them. They would both look at each other and say, "Whoa. Since when could I double myself?" And then two Aries, one on each of the two Asta's shoulders, would pop up and say, "Wait, whoa, you really did double yourself. I never knew that was in your capabilities. I never thought it was as well. Did I say you could go and clone yourself?" No, I'm choosing a Karen voice, and I love Marilona. Did I say? I know this has nowhere near the, you know, yeah. Did I say you can go clone yourself? No, I didn't do it on purpose. I swear. Well, I guess you can pass a trial by fire. She would punch the ground, erupting from the punch like a pillar of flames would shoot up, uh, just swallowing both Astas in, but only one would go as water would be sliced at from there as a water coated blade just would boom, disperse and turn all the flames to steam. Why are you like this? What do you mean? Whatever. Why did you do that? Because we needed to know who's the fake. And well, I guess you weren't the fake. You know, that's pretty smart. Zora in his head would say, "This woman's mad. This woman's insane." Then a voice would say, "Well, I knew that wouldn't work for long, but hey, at least they gave a try, right?" Anyways, I'd really prefer not to fight, to be honest. But I know how you all work, especially the one beside me. Asta's sword would already be at his neck within a second. Yeah, I kind of guessed that. Copy magic. Hold on. Copy magic. Leviathan's bellow. What? Point blank in Asta's face would be a massive sea serpent's head, and blue energy would be building up, as Asta would say, joy. As he would luckily move out of the way, as a massive cannon of water would shoot out, making a gaping hole in the walls going on, like nearly all the way out of the gravitational stone that they're in. You know, I really should have expected that. Kaleidos Brachium! Yeah. Oh, shit. He would run into the open area, jumping through, going into a spatial magic portal, and appearing on the other side on a floating stone. And you could hear us. He could hear us to say, "I'm gonna sue him," as he would go running. And Marilona would also already be running. Zora would just jump down into the bottom of the area and kind of just hide, just get out of the way of these two muscle heads. They would both go running opposite sides, blade and fist covered in their own elements. Their elements, water and fire, both respectively, just ready to slash or well bash. Asta would just cut through the air with a water slash, as he would say, "Well, guess it's time. Water magic, clear water dance." He would slice multiple times throughout the air within a second, cutting down stones, cutting them in half, as these slashes would then turn 2 times as two other slashes would be made, and they would fire off with them. Uh, as Ryo would say, copy magic, salamander's breath. A massive orb of fire from a illusionary looking salamander would be shot out, colliding with these blades, soaking them up, turning them into steam, and it would continue. Asta would just cut it in half effortlessly with a water magic, clear water slash, fire magic, Kaleidos Brachium Barrage. Up close now with Marilona and Raya. Raya would dodge back as he would say, copy magic, Leviathan's bellow. A massive maw of a sea serpent would be made, and a massive cannon of water would shoot out, twisting in a way ready to tear through. Uh, Marilona would just disperse this spell effortlessly, and Asta would say, "Remind me not to fight her." Yeah, I can do that. Asta would be jumping through now, just bouncing through the air, because he's figured something out. Monoskin expanded is a really good trick to have. Yes, I know what you're saying. He already has Mana Zone. Yes, yes, he does. He's learned that through training and, well, not really training, just experimenting with Mana Skin, seeing if it can go outwards. Well, now he can jump through the air like how Marilona does. And Captain Yami will eventually learn in the coming months. Going throughout the air, running throughout the air, on the other side, Raya would turn around with the third eye open as he would say, "You know, this fight is not fun, but so what? I don't really want to go down yet. I got things to do." Copy magic. Earth's Maiden. Multiple spikes of the rock around them would fly out of the air, soaring through it at Asta. Asta seeing that he's very close to being pinched, like in a pincer like maneuver, he would then say, "I hate people like you. Water magic." Clear water dance. He would spin around with his blade in hand, going over and around vertically and horizontally. These would triple out, cutting each of the stone or earth pieces into pebbles. You know, I didn't think a brat like you would really be strong. I mean, after I saw your captain move. Never really thought much of you, kid. You have nothing on that guy. Uh, Copy magic. Lightless slash. A sword would just fire out of his grimoire as he would spin around towards Marilona's direction and fire that off in her direction multiple times. She would be dodging these and just would hit one, just boom, 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 just destroying it. Hey, don't you dare forget about me. Not Zora. Uh, well, no, Raya would turn around, seeing Asta straight in his face. Water creation magic. Crab claw. A large crab claw would clamp down on Raya and throwing him out towards Marilona. As then, with his other hand, he would say, "Hey Zora, you ready?" "I guess. And don't boss me around." Water magic. Leviathan's pressure blade. With his other, well, with his blade in his left hand now, right hand grabbing and moving Raya towards Marilona, he would slash with his blade. Did I say bellow or pressure blade? I said pressure blade, I think. Whichever one. It doesn't. I'm going to say pressure blade now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He would slash the Leviathan. Well, sea serpent head would go flying, being absorbed in his count ash trap. No, ash trap magic counter spell that has no name. I really wish it had a name. Still have not a name, but either way, it being absorbed in and shot out, doubling in power. Fire magic, Kaleidos Brachium. Getting hit in the back, and then being thrown forward being stopped, getting whiplash, Raya would turn his head, seeing this, and then bite down. He would be just engulfed by this massive sea serpent head and getting thrown into the wall. See ya. Idiot. Guess we're going on to the next. And then um a yellow aura would erupt, wrap around him. I guess it's time. Ugh. What the hell? Honestly, I thought you were gonna try to self-destruct, but this looks way different than the other two. Trying to idiots. Anyways, what's that trick? I guess it's time to get serious. Using an earth spell to just fire out like a massive hammer, like a stone spell. A massive hammer would try to slam down onto Asta. He would move out of the way. Then Raya would just start firing off light blades of conviction and uh um 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 um, um, um and crap lightless slashes at everyone. Now Zora would just like absorb them and shoot them back, but they would be hit by more, so it did nothing really. It's just protecting himself. Asta and Marilyn would just be hitting these things, bashing them away with their either fist or, well, in Asta's case, his blade, blue gradient. This would be just a hellish experience. They would be just being forced into one space, well, as like Marilyn and Asta would be, just be forced into like beside each other. This is so not fun anymore. They could just see the Raya's just grin. He's really pissing me off. Same here. Water creation magic. Shark strong bite. He would stomp at the ground as a like a uh like a blast of water would just fire out at Raya, and you could see Asta's one blade in the ground. Well, Ares would be like using mana to push into the ground, like putting water in the ground, so Asta could do this. Just boom, firing out at Raya, who would just say, I don't think you really get what I'm trying to do here. Copy magic, Salamander's Claw. It would just be, from the heat alone from the spell, the shark's strong bite would just be just fizzled out. I hate heat. I also hate being cold, but Asta would turn to the side, ready with his blade to slash. He would be getting grazed by the light spell and the dark spell. Like, he would be cut on the leg, the arm, and like on the side of his like torso. I cut along his face. Water magic. Clear water. Dance! Slashing multiple time in an instant. The blades that he would be sending out would just spin 2 times as 2 more would be added to each slash, colliding with each spell being thrown at these two. as he would then say, water spirit magic. Ares Fang! His blade would still be coated in water, would extend, zigzagging around like a serrated tooth of Ares, or a sharp fang, or like a serrated blade, just zigzagging around, ready to strike. It would freeze. Snow would begin to fall as stone above would then just crash down. Asta and Marilena would just dodge backwards, sliding back to Zora. As then he would say, well, Ryo would say, there everybody is. How is everyone? Finally, good to see y'all waking up. Oh, God. What the hell? They got the auras and weird face marks. From my conclusion, shit just hit the fan. You're no shit, Asta. Oh, you had to use my name. Thank you, Zora. You two stop clowning around. We have an issue here. We can tell. Water magic tidal wash away! Asta would slash the ground as a gargantuan wave of water would just crash, like erupt from the ground, reaching the roof, like the ceiling of the area they're in, and would just crash down onto everyone. Bring them all to the ground instead of them flying or on the flying rocks that are still up. What's the plan here, Miss Lioness? We fight them all! Of course. Hey, Ares. Heal the lady. Heal the lioness. Okay. Water spirit magic. Leviathan scales. A fin of his would just, like, fizzle off of his body, and then all over Marilona's body would be covered. The cuts would be covered by a translucent blue scale, like substance. Like, it's water scales, but it would have a faint bluish glow from it, and all of her like opened wounds would be closing slowly. Well, might as well. Water spirit. Wait. What the hell is that? Key. Their keys are the same, but different. They all have two souls, or something like that. Of course. Just my luck. The person with feather magic would give them all wings so they can all start moving freely throughout the air. Of course, they can all fly now. I mean, given I can do that too, but still. This guy really pisses me off. What is this? A get together of turning enemies or something? What do you mean, kid? We're just getting our revenge. Sure, whatever you call it. Sure, reincarnating or whatever. I don't care. I'm kicking your all's asses. One way or another. Doosh! Asta would move. Water spirit magic. Leviathan's maul. he would slash as multiple projectiles, fang-like projectiles, would shoot out. Um, Paint magic. I don't know. I don't know what to use. One of his paint magic spells would be used to just block it all. But Asta would just pass through the spell himself. Blade now coated in a large fin-like thing. How you doing? Water spirit magic, Leviathan's fin. His his blade would turn to a large fin as he would then just sweep everyone in this, like all the elves, just doom doom doom, all hit to the other side. Then you could hear Monozone, Kalios Brachium. Wait, Monozone, Fire Magic, Kalios Brachium Barrage. Punching them all back towards Asta. Asta would say, "Aw, how nice of you. Coming back. Water magic. Leviathan's bellow. Copy magic. Leviathan's bellow." These two would connect, and it would cause the entire room to be just a massive mana explosion would happen. Just boom, 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 boom. Marilona would be blown to the side where Zora is. Asta would be exploded that way as well, just from hitting the wall and then kind of using mana zone and to push himself the opposite, like towards his allies' side, and they would just create a gaping hole through it. Asta would use water magic to just, as he would get closer and nearly reaching unconsciousness, he would just lastly like get them all coated in like a orb of water. Marilona would end up unconscious from this. Um, Zora nearing that state as well, but Asta would be down, like unconscious, like, but he would still be like getting up even though in this unconscious state. Like his eyes are closed, just hey, what are you doing? You're not in a state to fight. Neither of you are. But we must continue, Marilona would say. Asta would finally open his eyes. His right side would go, like his right eye would go fully white. Blue scales would envelop his arm and his entire right side as he would then say, "Spirit magic, Leviathan hybrid." Claws will, his fingernails would grow a little bit into a claw-like thing. All the elves, torn clothing, wings still up. These two are maniacs. Water spirit magic, Leviathan's bellow. You could hear a mixture of Ares' voice and Asta's voice do this, as Ares' head would just erupt from Asta's like back, just like neck area, like a elongated like neck head would just blast a second array, like second cannon like thing, as then another, Raya would do the same back, going towards Marilona. Kalados Brachium just knocking it off course while fighting against it. So Asta would do water spirit magic. Leviathan's fin. Uh, the large fin would just erupt from Asta's left arm, like blocking this attack from like continuing getting to this injured Marilana. Just blocking it and just hitting it upwards, knocking rock down into the water below. I'll push past my limits here and now. Asta's like feet would like just stomp on the ground, as then he would hold his blade high above his head, as then he would say, "Let's see how you deal with this. Water spirit magic, Leviathan's pressure blade." The head would envelop the blade again as Asta would slash downwards. Hitting Raya and multiple other elves, but some of them did escape from this rain, just hitting majorly the stronger ones from what Asta can tell, and just busting through walls of stone and just bring him crashing down into a main place, just another big opening where other elves are fighting no one. They're just there, just congregating, waiting for everyone else to get there. Right. As a green, like laser beam like thing would just shoot out from the bottom of where Asta and everyone is. Oh, Asta team and the elves are just firing through as a body would just clattering through the bottom of this stone. This being and Licht fighting. Asta would say, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just pushed back my limits. I guess I gotta do it again." Marilona would go on to fight the elves and go unconscious again. Zora would get her out of there and down at the bottom, like of the like woods. Okay, Asta would like using Monozone to just push himself into the air. Would see Licht and fighting. Well, might as well. Monozone, water magic, Leviathan's bellow. Behind him, behind Licht, a massive head. The massive Leviathan sea serpent head would just open up its maw. A massive orb of water mana would gather there, and then fire. As then would say, "Wind spirit magic, spirit storm." Both of these would be connected, causing another explosion, like back at the tournament for the Royal Knights exam, like that. Thunder would sound off in distant area. It would start to rain more than it already was. A heavy downpour would be there now, instead of like a sprinkling, a heavy downpour. But it would eventually go away as two bodies would be thrown down into the dirt. Well, Asta's body would be thrown down, cratering into the ground. As for Yuno, he would still be fighting. Ares would help him out because, well, Asta's unconscious now, but helping out in his own way. You firing off like using Ares' Fang, the spell. Yeah. Using multiple different like of his like Asta's spells that he can use, like Leviathan's Bellow and Leviathan's Pressure Blade, using those to help out Yuno to um, yeah. But eventually they would both be defeated as the gravitational stone would be moving throughout the area now. Asta would be unconscious, bloodied, head to toe, in large to, well, not large, small to like medium sized gashes in his leg and arm. Yeah, he's just cut all over. He did get hit by that, like the leader of the Elves Lick's blade once while he was up there, like as he would get sent down. So now he's unconscious. And that's where I'm going to end it here for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Sorry for this being late again. But yeah. Anyways, roll the dice. Hope to see you all next time. Bye.